Shalom, shalom. Can you hear me out? I don't know if you got the sound on here, Salaki. I don't know if you can hear me or not. Salaki. Can't hear me. It's always something. Usually go to the settings. Audio. Speaker. All right. Let me see. Okay, Con, can you hear me now? I can't hear nothing myself. Let me try to come back, leave out and come back in. All right, so speaker here, say testing. Eternal mic.
Is that it right there?
All right, I hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I guess, I don't know, in and out.
I don't know what's going on. I just entered back in the studio and it just started working for the first time, so we can let it be known. This is Wfi Detroit soldier, first time or lieutenant and soldier Nathaniel, our first time using StreamYard, learning how this works.
Yeah.
So it's gonna look kind of tacky, and I don't know what's going on. And
Bear
why
with
it's
us.
barely working it, but we striving for the mastery, man, to get this to work. So today gonna be an edification on the elect, on the remnant. And introduce yourself right now, because I didn't mess around and introduce you for you.
Khan, shalom, brother. I not here through the spirit with Wfi Detroit.
Kind, I'm gonna kick it off through the spirit with Ecclesiastes 1 and verse 9. It says, "The thing that have been is that which shall be, and that which is done is that which shall be done, and there is no new thing under the sun." So everything that's done on the earth is gonna remain to be the same. And we know that by reading the scriptures and understand that Most High he does the same thing over and over again. It might not be the exact same way, but it's closely in the category of the same terminology. And if you don't mind, now let me get the book of Luke, chapter 1. I want to say in verse 69.
Khan.
No, it's 71.
This is the book of Luke, chapter 1, and verse number 71. Right?
It might be 70. Start at 70.
Okay, Khan. Luke 1 and 70, it says, "And as he spake by the mouth of his holy prophets, which have been since the world began."
So the prophets has been here since the world began, and he ordained that from Ecclesiastes 1 and verse 9 all the way into John the Revelator, basically the end of the Gospels that he wanted us to know. And let me get Isaiah 41 and verse 4. The elect gonna not even the elect at this time, the remnant that he's going to use is going to be from the beginning of the foundation of the world, meaning from the time that he created Adam to Noah, to Shem, to Nahor, to Lamech, to Methuselah. He's going to continue. He's going to continue to choose elect, a remnant, a seed line, and we're going to get the definition for you for elect and remnant right after my brother Isaiah 41 and verse 4.
It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 41, and verse number 4. It says what? who have wrought and done it, calling the generations from the beginning. I, the Lord, the first, and with the last, I am He.
So the Lord called the generations from the beginning. He calls that seed line that he choose that he want to go to. And let me get Genesis 9:26, and then you can go right now after this.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 9, and verse number 26. Right? It reads, it says, and he said, blessed be the Lord God of Shem, and Canaan shall be his servant.
Now Noah had 3 sons. Yeah, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. The Most High shewed in the beginning time after the flood, and with the flood, that he only choose 1 or 2 of a seed line or 1 or 2 of a family. That's why he chose Shem for him to be his vessel that he's going to dwell in and teach him the rules and regulations from the beginning of time. And then you got a king. I digress.
Quick preset, real quick. Just let me back over with the mighty brother Nathaniel we're bringing out. We're going to get the book of Psalms, chapter 78, real quick. The classic in verse 2. It says, what? I will open my mouth in a parable. I will utter dark sayings of old, which we have heard and known, and our fathers have told us. So it's really no new thing under the sun with a concept of having an elect. All right, that's nothing new. Okay, that's something of old. All right, the Most High been getting down with having a remnant or the elect person since the foundation of the world. It says what which we have heard and known, and our fathers have told us. And our fathers always pass things down, right? When the Lord was dealing with our forefathers, singling them out one by one, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, they always knew who Yahweh Bashmi Yahushua was. They always knew who Yahushua was. All right, so it's not a new concept of the Lord only dealing with specific people. All right, in the ancient world, way back then, in the time of Abraham and them, it wasn't no marvel when the Lord made himself known to whom he chose. That was nothing new. This is things of old that we are just now learning about. But through the Spirit, we understand these things, that it's not a new concept for the Lord to have an elect or a remnant. It's not a great marvel to us that the Lord not dealing with everybody. Concepts like those come from the background of Christianity and things of that nature. God loves everybody. He talks to everybody. Everybody's special to him. These is concepts that man has come up with. All right. But that's not biblical concepts. Okay. The Lord always has a chosen remnant, a chosen elect that he like to deal with. One more real quick. Let me get Ephesians 1. Because this thing is of old. It's not new. All right. It may be new to man. You know, we just woke up to the truth. You know, we kind of just got in this thing. Okay, it's new to us. We didn't know these things in the world. But overall, it's not new. It says what? Ephesians 1:4, according as he have chosen us in him before the foundation of the world. So the elect was already chosen of old, before the foundation of the world. They was already set aside and chosen to be special unto the Lord, to be elect. It says what? That we should be holy and without blame before him in love, having predestinated us unto the adoption of children by Yahushua Hamashiach to himself, according to the good pleasure of his will. So it's by default, it's already the will of the Lord to have an elect, to have a specific chosen amount of souls to adopt the image of his son, to be brought back home to the Most High through his son. So there's not a new concept. All right. You got an final word.
Let me get the book of Genesis 11 and verse 10 from me.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 11 and verse number 10. And it reads, it says, these are the generations of Shem.
This
Shem
is the chosen seed line after Noah, which was Shem. So out of his seed line, he's going to choose who he wants to continue to pass on his oral traditions, which would be the most godly way to ever live. You got a king.
Reading on, it says Shem was 100 years old and begat Arphaxad 2 years after the flood.
Now we're going to jump to the point. Jump down to verse 14.
Verse 14, it says, and Salah lived 30 years and begat Eber.
And we know that Eber would be that specific chosen seed line out of the seed line of Shem. His name literally means translated Hebrew.
Yep.
And that's where the same seed line of the Lord chosen people will come from. We read about that in Romans 11 and 1. Paul was a Benjaminite. from the tribe of Paul was the Israelite from the tribe of Benjamin. You read about that and a lot of other specific places too. And then after that, jump down to verse 26 because it's a lot. It's a lot of this. So we just gonna jump down to the main people. Jump down to verse 26 real quick.
Verse 26. It says what? And Terah lived 70 years and begat Abram, Nahor, and Haran.
And we know who will be that next chosen seed line. It will be Abram.
Yep.
He will be that next chosen seed line to be dealt with by God and his people. And they're going to transition it over. Who did he transition it over? Let me get that. This is the book of Genesis. Get Genesis 15. Well, first and foremost, Abraham got blessed. In Genesis 14, his name got changed to Abraham from Abram, which means the exalted father.
Mm-hmm.
Jump down to Genesis 15 and verse start at 3.
This is the book of Genesis chapter 15 and verse 3. And Abram said, behold, to me thou hast given no seed, and lo, one born in my house is my heir.
So one born in my house is my heir. Abraham knew that oral tradition that the Most High was dealing with a specific remnant. And let me get the precept. Let me get the definition of elect real quick, because everybody don't know what this definition means. The definition of elect.
It says, you want me to read it off Edom Online? I got it on Edom Online.
I got a definition. You can get a definition. It says chosen one to hold public office or something voted by something positioned by voting, which that's Esau definition of that. And then get your definition, King, if you got a biblical definition.
No, that was the same one that I had on Edom Online. It say of persons taken in preference to others, especially chosen by God for some special purpose. Pick out, to choose.
It says of a person chosen or singled out. So the Most High has been singling out men from the beginning of time. And I'm about to show you the next man that the Most High singled out, which will be from the seed of Abraham. In Genesis 17 and verse I want to get the specific verse. Go to Genesis 17. And when was Isaac born? Verse 19. So this will be that heir that come out of Abraham. Abraham had two sons, Ishmael and Isaac. Ishmael got kicked out. When you read about that in Galatians 4, he had a bondman and a servant. He had a bondman and a free woman. A bondwoman and a free woman, not a bondman. And out of that free woman comes the promise. You got it, King.
Genesis 17 and 19. Mm-hmm. And God said, Sarah thy wife shall bear thee a son indeed, and thou shalt call his name Isaac, and I will establish my covenant with him. It says, I will establish my covenant with him for an everlasting covenant, and with his seed after him.
You understand? And he's going to continue to do this. And if you have any understanding of the Lord, or you desire any understanding of the Lord, you will seek out this understanding that he passed that next covenant down to who? King. Who did he pass it down to? He passed it down to Jacob.
Abraham, Isaac, then Jacob.
And then Jacob had the 12 tribes of Israel. So we're going to get this concept real quick on how the Most High how he deal with this, because everybody thinks it different. Let me get Genesis 18 and verse I want to say that's start at verse 24. We're not going to read the whole account. The whole account will be going into the whole thing. But start at verse 24.
So like real quick, I'm gonna do the screen share thing.
Do that.
So Israel could when they watch it, they follow along. So like here we go right here. Share this tab.
You gonna drop us to the side? Because I seen them do this, but I'm learning this right now. They might be use this a lot more.
You see it? Can you see the Bible thing?
I can.
Let me see here.
Oh, I gotta start using my laptop too.
So okay. Select it real quick. Okay, share screen. Entire screen. I believe that's what it is. Entire screen. Yep. You do window, Chrome tab, entire screen. Share. All right. What about now?
I was gonna give it a few seconds. I don't see. I don't think I see is you, King. It's giving us the flux today.
Yeah. We go.
It's taking for sure though, because the first time it was nothing wrong. I left and came back, and then I can hear you. I'm like, bro. And then the first time I was logging in, it was giving me half of my screen. I was only seeing like half. I'm like, bro.
We gonna get it through the spirit. We gonna get this thing to work, man. It's too mighty. We just gotta figure this thing out.
It's the first time for everything. I was looking at videos of brothers at old videos. I'm like, they videos look old. Brothers then grew mighty and they understand what's going on now. So it's the first time for everything.
Yeah. We gonna get it. I'm gonna read it though. Nevertheless, Genesis 18 and 24.
Uh-huh.
It says, "What peradventure there be 50 righteous within the city? Wilt thou also destroy and not spare the place for the 50 righteous that are therein?"
So if you had a spirit and you understand the scriptures, the Most High he just detailed the spirit of how he would treat the elect when you read Revelation the 7th chapter. So he always spare a place for a decent amount of time, even when you read about Nineveh. Jonah the 4th chapter, he didn't destroy Nineveh off the back, because he wanted to see if they would repent. The same spirit that he knew that wasn't going to repent in Sodom and Gomorrah, but he still showed that same attribute to Lot. And if it's 50 men there, which the 50 men who was following the Lord will automatically be by default the elect. So he's saying if my elect is there, I won't bomb this place right now. But if my elect not there, then bombs away.
Yeah. Pretty much.
So that's the concept of that whole process, you understand? And then he's going to go down and down and down. He's going to go to 40, 30, 20. He said if it's 10, if it's 5 men there, meaning that the Lord got the elect there no matter what. Lot was that chosen man out of that. He's going to get him out of there. Was Abraham. So you got it, King. Unless you ain't got nothing, then I'm going to go. But if you got something, you can go.
I just wanted to dive into it real quick. Going into the tracking the you could say elect C line all the way on down. Just hopping through chapter by chapter. I'm gonna go to Genesis chapter 4 and verse number 25 through 26. It says, "What? And Adam knew his wife again, and she bare a son." Now this is after Cain and Abel. All right, we know Cain. He committed this evilness and slew Abel. All right. And then when you read above, after that happened, you pretty much see a long lineage of all Cain's sons on down, on down, on down, on down, on down. It's only Cain. So when you get down to 25, it says, "What? And Adam knew his wife again, and she bare a son and called his name Seth." So now we got Seth on the scene after Abel. It says, "For God said, she have appointed me another seed instead of Abel, whom Cain slew." All right. Now, before we read verse 26, you have men on the earth. All right. You have people after. You have a son after Adam. You have Cain still alive, taking him women and constantly having children and stuff. And it's not mentioned that man called upon the name of the Lord. Why? Because this is the wicked that remains. The wicked don't call on the name of the Lord. The Lord is not in all their thoughts. They don't care to do so. It says what? Verse 26. "And to Seth, to him also there was born a son, and he called his name Enos. Then began men to call upon the name of the Lord." So men call on the name of the Lord through the seed line of the righteous. All right. And this is why this is such a beautiful topic about how the Lord always deal with a set seed line or a remnant of people, because it go to show you how the Lord deals with man. All right. The Lord wasn't dealing with Cain. So nobody's calling on the name of the Lord out of the lineage of Cain. But when you have the lineage that the Lord does choose to deal with, okay, now you got men calling upon the name of the Lord. Why? Because the elect, the righteous, they're always going to call upon the name of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. All right, let's go to Genesis, the 5th chapter. real quick.
So like I got a precept on that.
Con.
This the book of Sirach 17 and verse 10. And it reads, and the elect shall praise his holy name. So the men who is praising his name, calling upon him, but by default will be his chosen seed line, his elect, his isolated one from that time. You got it, King.
Con, that's a fair point. They're gonna call on his holy name. All right. You see the wicked. Hey, it was people there. It's not like Cain was all alone. No, he had sons, grandsons, great grandsons. Nobody calling out to Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. All right, nobody. Quick precept. Let me get this real quick. In Psalms, right? It's the book of Psalms, chapter. So like it didn't load. This the book of Psalms, chapter 10, and I'm gonna start at 2. It says, "What the wicked in his pride doeth persecute the poor. Let them be taken in the devices that they have imagined. For the wicked boasteth of his heart's desire, and blesseth the covetous, whom the Lord abhorreth. The wicked, through the pride of his countenance, will not seek after God. God is not in all his thoughts." All right. So that's why you don't have nobody calling on the name of Yahweh Shem Yahushua out of the evil seed line. You want to know why? Because they're not seeking after the Most High. Okay. So when people, want to talk about God, everybody this and God, everybody that, well, everybody doesn't seek after Yahweh Shem Yahushua. All right. And even when you do, you got to do it the right way. Okay. You can't seek after the Lord how you want to seek after the Lord, what you think is good. No, you got to do it how Yahweh Shem Yahushua said to do it. Having faith in his son Yahushua and keeping the commandments, of course, to the best of your given ability as an Israelite. Let's go to Genesis 5 and 24 real quick. This is the book of Genesis. Actually, I'm going to start at 22, Salakia. This is the book of Genesis, chapter 5 and verse 22. Now, quick backstory with Genesis, the 5th chapter. Now you got the generations of Adam. All right. And you chiefly have the righteous seed line, being displayed in Genesis, the 5th chapter. And notice how this is accounted for the generations of Adam. When you go back to chapter 4, after Cain slew Abel, all right, and he received his judgment, and it was said for nobody to touch him. All right, this not even accounted as the generations of Adam. All right, it just go into Cain. It just say Cain. He went out from the presence of the Lord. All right, then he knew his wife, had kids. Then his kids had kids, so on and so forth down the line. It don't even account for the generations of Adam. Why? Because this is the evil. We know Adam made his mistake, but Adam didn't want to be wicked. He didn't want to slay his own people and just keep it pushing as if he did nothing and ask, "Am I my brother's keeper?" He wasn't getting down like that. They atoned for their sins, man. All right, they made sacrifices, okay? But when you get to Genesis, the 5th chapter, this is accounted as the book of the generations of Adam. Literally. It didn't go into Seth, it didn't go into Enos, so on and so forth. Now let's drop down. So now we got the righteous, we got the elect seed line that's actually accounted for the generations of Adam. It says what? Genesis 5 and 22. And Enoch walked with God after he begat Methuselah 300 years and begat sons and daughters. So we actually, and this is not literal walk, okay? It's saying can two be together except they be agreed in Amos, the 3rd chapter. So this walk with God is not, oh yeah, God came down and he hold a hand with Enoch and they skipping it. No. All right. He's on one accord on the same page, following after righteousness, following after the Most High. Okay. Now you notice with Cain, nothing like this is written for Cain and nobody that came out of his seed line. They was over there making them artificers of iron and stuff, making dang weapons. All right. But now when you got the elect seed line, you got somebody walking with the Most High, which is beautiful. It says what? In all the days of Enoch were 365 years, and Enoch walked with God, and he was not, for God took him. Right. And the Most High beamed him up, got him up out of here. And you read about that in Wisdom of Solomon 4:10 on down. All right. And various other precepts. You got Jude, the 14th verse, talk about how Enoch was shaking the hand, prophesying, things of that nature. Right. So look at the difference when you have an elect seed line. Look what they're doing. The elect seed line is dealing with the Most High. He's shaking the hand. He's prophesying. You read about that in the other accounts that I just referenced to the spirit power. How about Shemal Shai? But then you got the evil seed line that has nothing to do with the Most High. They're making damn tools of iron. Okay. when you read about that in Genesis the 4th chapter. I don't want to be too long-winded, but let's keep going. Genesis 6, real quick. 6, verse 8 through 9, touching on Noah. All right. And you had other men on the earth once again. And what? The Lord still only chose to deal with whom he saw fit. And where does Noah come from? From Enos and them on out. Seth, Enos on all the way on down. Okay. Methuselah, Lamech all the way on down. Righteous Lamech. All right. It says what? Genesis 6 and verse 8. It says, but Noah found grace in the eyes of the Lord. So the people who come out of the elect seed line, they end up finding grace. All right. It says what? These are the generations of Noah. Noah was a just man and perfect in his generations. And Noah walked with God. See how the elect seed line, they follow one after another. All right. Enoch walked with the Most High. Noah walking with the Most High. Okay. Noah is a just man and perfect. All right. And Adam raised both Cain and Abel. Okay. So this is going to show you that, hey, it's a two-way street. You got some people that go to the left and you got some people that go to the right. And only one of those directions can be the right way. And the Lord going to lead the elect to the right path each and every time, to the right direction. So this is what goes down out of the elect seed line. You got men walking with the Lord, men finally calling upon the name of the Lord. And you got on the left-hand side, men making damn weapons to commit more murder. All right. One more real quick. Genesis 9 and 26. So this is just a good track record of how the Lord deals with an elect single man or a remnant, a whole seed line of men who are accounted for righteous. All right. Genesis 9 and 26. It says what? And like Nathanael brought us out, and he said, blessed be the Lord God of Shem, and Canaan shall be his servant. So we have from Abel and Cain all the way to Genesis 9. All right, all the way to Genesis 11. You see a track record of the Lord severing either a man out or a whole lineage, and this is the people who he chooses to deal with. This is the people who he chooses to deal with. All right, Noah had 3 sons, man. Who did the Lord single out? Shem. Shem had other sons, but even out of the lineage of the sons that these men have, the Lord still pick who he want to deal with. Like the brother went into, you had Eber. Eber begot Peleg. All right, when you go into the word Hebrew, it go back to Eber. Okay, who was accounted as being a Hebrew as we continue reading the Bible in Genesis 14? Abraham. All right, who kept the language after the whole world language was confounded? Eber seed line on down. They continue speaking in Hebrew and being called after the title of being in Hebrew. Everybody else's language was confounded. Only the elect seed line kept the holy language, the original tongue. So this is how the Lord deals with the elect. All right, you got it, King.
Con. So to back our brother up on that, let me get the book of Isaiah chapter 1 and verse 9. To prove that even after this seed line, the Most High, even after the 12 tribes of Israel, the Most High still and forever is going to keep that same energy. He's not going to change that tradition of his to choosing one man, one family, one seed line, and that number is going to continue to get bigger and bigger because it went from Adam to Cain, to Abel, which was slew by Cain, to Seth. So that number is going to continue to get bigger and bigger and bigger the more sons that he have on earth. So that effect is not going to stay. It's not going to change from the one chosen man. It's going to turn to a remnant.
Yep, that's beautifully said. It's going to change to a whole remnant because we can see the track record of the Most High singling out man after man after man after man. So and then it went from man to a whole nation.
Right, that went from a man to a whole nation. Let me get this real quick. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 14 and verse 3. The Lord looked down from heaven upon the children of man. The children of man, he looked down upon all of them.
Yeah.
To see if there are any that understand and seek him. To see if anybody is going to follow the ways of Seth or Cain. He's going to see who's going to be following these godly ways or who's going to be following behind these wicked ways. And is the Most High going to deal with the wicked? No. He's going to cast you away. He's going to burn you just like how he burned the wicked place Sodom and Gomorrah. Let me get that in Isaiah 1 and verse 9, King.
This is book of Isaiah chapter 1 and verse number 9. It says what? except the Lord of hosts had left unto us a very small remnant, we should have been at Sodom, and we should have been like unto Gomorrah.
And we should have been like unto Gomorrah. Read Second Peter, the second chapter.
God.
And you'll find out what the Lord did to Sodom. Sometimes I give people a little puzzle to read to see if they're actually going to search out the matter. But you can 2 Peter, the second chapter, and start at
Let me start where you say deliver just a lot.
No, start at verse 4.
This is the book of 2 Peter, chapter 2, and verse number 4. It says, for if God spared not the angels that sinned, but cast them down to hell, and delivered them into chains of darkness to be reserved unto judgment. And spared not.
It's talking about us. It's not talking about a literal angel. If you have understanding, that's not talking about a literal angel.
Right.
Cast down. They don't disobey him.
Exactly.
You understand it. They don't get put into chains. No, that's talking about us. We put in the chains. These bodies are our chains.
Yeah. It says verse 5, and spared not the old world.
So he spared not the old world. He destroyed Noah's world. Why did he destroy Noah's world? Because they were all wicked. He said every man's thoughts was nothing but evil.
Genesis 6.
Continue, King.
It says it spared not the old world, but saved Noah, the 8th person.
Proving that he deal with a remnant, 8-person remnant. It don't always got to be one or two of a family of a seed line. He chose Noah, 8-person remnant, but out of that whole 8 people, he chose Shem. Well, out of those 7 people, because Noah was already chosen. He chose Shem out of Noah's seed line. You got it, King.
It says what? A preacher of righteousness, bringing in the flood upon the world of the ungodly.
The what?
Upon the world of the ungodly.
The world of the ungodly. So the Lord is not going to preserve or keep you alive when you read the book of Sirach, the 50th chapter. He's not going to keep you from destruction. If you're wicked, he's going to let you fall into destruction. So let me get the definition of remnant real quick.
God.
This is the definition of remnant. It means a small remaining quantity of something. That's what remnant means, a small remaining quantity. So that elect chosen man is going to turn to a quantity. It's going to turn to a certain amount of people. And then the Most High is going to reserve his chosen people. Read that back in Isaiah 1 and verse 9.
Going back to Isaiah chapter 1 and verse number 9. It says what? It says, except the Lord of hosts had left unto us a very small remnant, we should have been at Sodom, and we should have been like unto Gomorrah.
So you got all the way from Adam time to Seth to all the chosen seed line, all the way up into Isaiah chosen time. How much more would that elect number be, that remnant be today? The men who are following his seed line all the way into now. Let me get Zechariah 13 and verse 8. And after this, if you got anything to say, you can say.
Still see anything that don't work?
I don't see nothing on my point of view, King. What we gonna do? We gonna go on here and we gonna record in private, and we gonna play with this, and we gonna learn it.
Heck yeah!
And once we learn it, we gonna be on here.
All right, bet. Do you want to get a quick remnant preset? I'm gonna get Matthew. I'm gonna go to Matthew 22 and 14 real quick.
Yep, go ahead.
Matthew chapter 22 and verse number 14. It says what? It says, for many are called, but few are chosen. And it's quick, plain precept, straight to the point. But like the brother Nathaniel just brought out, when the Lord said that in Isaiah 1 and 9, he said it said a very small remnant. Because when it come down to it, it's only going to be a few that's chosen. It's only going to be that small portion that the Lord looking for. It's like the Lord, I believe it's in Revelation. It might be in 14 on down. 14. I'm trying to think of a good area to start. But nevertheless, real quick, just paraphrasing, the Lord looking for that choice vine. All right. And when it's ripe, and when that vine come to the full, the Lord is going to thirst in his sick when he going to reap. Is that's how it is with the elect. It's only a specific amount. He don't want every last grape in the vineyard. He want that choice vine. That's how the elect is. So that's how the Lord deal. A small remnant, only few chosen, a choice vine. You know, the Lord don't want the masses of the people. Okay, you know how many people was alive back then around when that flood went down? Millions, man, trillions, of billions of people. All right, and the Lord boiled it down to 8 people to get up out of that jam. All right, let me get one more. We'll go to that quick one in Second Esdras. Second Esdras 8. Oh, this one. Let me go to 1611. Here we go. Second Esdras 8, and I'll start at 1. It says what? Book of Second Esdras chapter 8 and verse number 1. It says, and he answered me, saying, the Most High have made this world for many, but the world to come for few. So yes, this present world that we live in right now, it is made for many. You have billions of people on this earth right now as we speak. But the world to come, all right, that's only for few. And that few is the elect. Mm-hmm. It is that remnant. All right, it is the 1/3, the 144. That's who the world to come is really for. All right. Because this world, the Lord gonna start this thing off with a righteousness. All right, and it's gonna be righteousness forevermore. All right, it's not gonna be Genesis 3rd chapter round 2. No. All right, it says what, verse 2? I will tell thee a similitude, Esdras, as when thou askest the earth, it shall say unto thee that it giveth much mold, whereof earthen vessels are made, but little dust that gold cometh of. So it's plenty of material that could be used to make all these earthen vessels, but it's only just a little bit of dust that gold could come of, though. It says, even so is it. So like, even so is the course of this present world. There be many created, but few shall be saved. And the Lord, and like Nathan already brought out, the Lord gave us that example already in Genesis 6. That's why the classic Romans 15 and 4. You know, these things that's written aforetime, they're written for your learning. Mm-hmm. All right. So we could use that to help us understand how the Lord gets down moving forward. All right. It was many people back then, and the Lord only saved a few. So the Lord letting you know it's gonna be the same go around for us in our day and time. A lot of people gonna pass away, a lot of people gonna die, and it's only gonna be that few that saved, which is what? The elect of Israel, man. The 1/3, the 144. But you got it, King.
Grab Zechariah 13 and verse 8.
It's the book of Zechariah, chapter 13. Slakia. Zechariah 13 and 8 reads, it says what? And it shall come to pass that in all the land, saith the Lord, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die, but the third shall be left therein.
So you have a 3/3, you have a pizza. You understand? Majority of that pizza is going to be dropped. Okay, he's going to drop him. He's going to slip and fall. The brother then clicked out on mistake. Majority of that pizza is going to fall away. They're not going to that nation is not going to continue to be with the Most High. And then the other 1/3 is going to continue to be with him. The brother then dropped out. Let me go to Zechariah. Let me get the book of Zechariah real fast. This is the book of Zechariah 13 and verse 8. And it reads, and it shall come to pass that in all the land, saith the Lord, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die, but the third shall be left therein. So he's going to cut off 2/3 and kill them. He's going to spoil them. He's going to destroy them. And then 1/3 he's going to keep with himself. And I will bring the third part through the fire, And I will refine them as silver is refined, and I will try them as gold is tried. And they shall call on my name, and I will hear them. And I will say, it is my people, and they shall say, the Lord is my God. The same way that the Most High God has been saying from the beginning time that the elect is His chosen. They've been calling upon His name from the beginning time. That will be the same spirit that He will be standing in right now. It's not going to change, and I'm about to prove that. This is all the way in King's time. This is all the way in 1 Kings 19. I want to say that's 19 and 18, or maybe 18 and 19. Yep, 1 Kings 18 and verse 19, and it reads, well, I'm going to start at verse 18. 1 Kings 18 and 18. And he answered, I have not troubled Israel, but thou, my father's house, and that ye have forsaken the commandment of the Lord, and thou hast followed Baalim. Now therefore send and gather to me all Israel unto Mount Carmel, and the prophets of Baal 450, and the prophets of the Graves 400, which eat at Jezebel's table. And at the end of that, we know that they're going to be destroyed. He's going to destroy that false remnant. And then he's going to rise up this. This is 1 Kings 19 and verse 18. It says, I have left me 7,000. Why do you say I have left me? He's letting it be known that he has preserved him 7,000, not a literal 7,000. I'm about to prove that. Let me get Genesis 4 and verse 24. It says, if Cain should be avenged sevenfold, truly Lamech 70 and sevenfold. And when you read the book of Matthew 18 and 21, he says, forgive your brother 7 times 7. Is that literally 14, 21, 28? No, he's saying forgive him as many times as he repent when you read the book of the Luke 14th chapter. Right. Shalom, can you hear me?
God, can you hear me?
Yep. So my point is, when you read 1 Kings 19 and 18 and 18 and 19, how he destroyed that wicked remnant. He destroyed that wicked seed line, the men of Israel who want to worship the left-hand side. And then on that other side, he preserved 7,000, and not a literal 7,000. He preserved the complete amount of man that he sees fit when you read 2 Esdras 2 and 42 to be his remnant. All right. And I'm going to prove that that will be the same thing with the Old Testament and the New Testament. If you hear from me, King, trying to figure out how to get that to work, go to Romans 11 and verse 4. Because the whole Old Testament, when you read Acts 3 and 19, when you read Luke 24 and 44, it's fulfilling. The whole New Testament is fulfilling the Old Testament. That's why when you read Isaiah 53, when you read Isaiah 7 and 14, you read Matthew 1 and 21, he is that Emmanuel. Then when you go to Matthew 20:26, where the Lord died on that cross and lived a grievous and a harsh life, the same way that this is going to go from the Old Testament to the New Testament. Let me get Romans 11 and verse 4.
It's book of Romans, right? Chapter 11 and verse number 4 reads, it says, what? But what saith the answer of God unto him? I have reserved to myself 7,000 men who have not bowed the knee to the image of Baal.
Who have not worshipped the satanic world that we live in. And when you read Galatians, I want to say that's the first or the second chapter. This present world is an evil world. Who have not gave into this present world. Let me get that real quick. Let me get that in Luke 17, and then I'm gonna let you get it. Get Luke 17 and verse 33, all the way down to 36.
17 and 33 through 36.
Yeah.
It's the book of Luke, chapter 17, and verse 33. It says, whosoever shall seek to save his life shall lose it, and whosoever shall lose his life shall preserve it.
And when you read all the way down to Cain and Adam and Seth and what's the one that lost his life? Abel. Abel gave up his life for the Lord. He literally did that sacrifice in perfect position, and he didn't fumble and he didn't fold, seeing what was about to happen to him. He didn't know that, but he still did the sacrifice perfect and dealt with it. He dealt with it. Because I'm pretty sure he's seen his brother have an evil eye on him. He's seeing him mad and angry. Do you want to sit? Why would you let somebody sit behind you if they got their fists all boiled up, crying? You in a liquor store right now, and the guy behind you in Detroit, and he got his fists all boiled up, he crying. You just going to sit there with your head turned to him?
Hey.
Brother or not, I'm not. I'm looking at you. I'm observing my surroundings like Ephesians 5 and 15 say.
Be circumspect.
Be circumspect. So Adam wasn't circumspect at that time, not because that was something against him that my word's saying, but that was just the situation that he did. He did that sacrifice perfect, knowing that Cain was mad because the Lord rejected his sacrifice, because he moved in the spirit of elect. Because the elect is going to do the righteous sacrifice, knowing that other people are going to be angry over you doing what's right, and they're going to want to kill you.
And two, quick point, King. Abel moved in that spirit and not avenging himself. It tell you that that's in Romans. Paul said, don't avenge yourself. It tell you what's that, Luke 18, 7-8, that the Lord the Lord gonna avenge his elect speedily. The Lord gonna avenge.
He's gonna get that blood. He's gonna get that get back for you.
Yeah.
Continue reading on this real quick, because this is a valid point. In the New Testament, the Lord is still moving in the same spirit that he moved all the way in Genesis.
It says what? Verse 34, I tell you, in that night,
when will the Lord come back? Like a thief in the what?
Thief in the night.
He's going to come back in like a thief in the night. At 12 o'clock a.m. on the dot. Before the cock crow. Because when the cock crow, that means the sun coming up. You got it, King.
Yep. It says what? I tell you, in that night there shall be two men in one bed. The one shall be taken and the other shall be left.
So he's gonna take Abel and leave Cain. And they were brothers. They were close. Close enough to know that we come from the same father. Continue, King.
Reading on. Two women shall be grinded together. The one shall be taken and the other left. Two men shall be in the field. The one shall be taken and the other left.
And people like to mock at these scriptures who don't know the scriptures. This is not saying that they on some homosexual stuff. And the nighttime is going to come back when all hell is going to be breaking loose. And the Lord said in Ecclesiastes 4:9, 2 is better than 1, for they got heat.
Yep.
So you out in the field, you out in the wilderness, and we got our brothers and we got our sisters. We're not going to want, or we're not going to be on no gay stuff for us to lay side to side with each other to try to get warm. Ain't nobody said we're going to have each other's legs cropped up and land between brothers' legs and stuff like that. No, women can get a little closer. That's why it says they're going to be laying in the bed together and the women going to be grinding together. So they're more delicate, they're more soft. They're going to get a little bit closer and try to get more heat. Men, we can endure a little bit more. We can lay next to each other and get some heat from each other and make it through that night until the sun come back up so we can get some heat, man. So stop being carnal and understand the scriptures, because if they were both being homosexuals, then the Lord wouldn't be coming to get neither one of their ass.
Yeah, that's plain.
Language. That's real right there.
They wouldn't be getting saved to begin with.
But the ultimate point is, that's the remnant right there. He's gonna. You got 2, 4, 6, 2 men, 2 women, 2 in the field. And you got 6. You got 6 people right there. He's only coming to get 3.
Yep.
Only 3 is going to fulfill that prophecy of Isaiah 1:9. in Isaiah 11:11, Ezekiel 20. All right, let me give one more precept, and then I'm gonna let you hold it. Get Isaiah 13 and verse 3, then you can go, King.
It's the book of Isaiah, right? Chapter 13 and verse number 3 reads, it says, I have commanded my sanctified ones.
My what?
My sanctified ones.
This is all the way in Isaiah. He hath sanctified men. They have been sanctified. They come out of that same seed line of the chosen seed line from the beginning.
Yeah.
All the way to the 12 tribes. He's always going to have a chosen. Everybody, majority of people are going to be wicked. Like when you read about that in Jeremiah 8. But he's going to have a remnant out of his chosen people who's going to return to him and seek him and be willing to give up their life for him. Like Paul said, I want to say that's 2 Corinthians, the 21st chapter, 13th verse. He said, What would you complain about? You want me to die, or you think I'm going to die? I'm not even worried about that.
Yeah, he said, what mean ye to weep? He said, I'm ready to die at Jerusalem.
Let me see if I'm about to grab that real quick.
Acts.
It slipped my mind for that might wasn't that right verse that I quoted.
Acts 21 and 13, where you say, what mean
Hey,
ye
it's Acts. I said 2nd or 1st Corinthians is Acts, so I had the right verses. I just said the wrong book.
Acts 21 and 13.
This Acts 21 and 13. It says, Then Paul answered, What mean ye to weep, to break my heart? For I am ready to be bound. For I am not ready to be bound only, but to die at Jerusalem for the name of the Lord. And that's the only spirit. That's the spirit that the elect is going to be moving in. No other people is going to be willing to sacrifice their flesh, like John 15 says, for their nation and for the Lord. They're not going to be moving in the spirit of Yahushua. It's me, myself, and I. But the elect is me, my brothers, my Lord, my Savior, my wife. It's going to be everybody outside of that. Paul said that too. He said, I will be up. I can go with the Lord. But he said, I'd rather be down here with y'all.
Yeah, that's in Philippians.
I want to say that's the 2nd chapter.
He said Philippians, yeah.
You got it, King. I'm gonna see if I can find it. I'm gonna find it.
Khan, I'm gonna give you one real quick, touching on that remnant. I'm gonna go to 2 Kings, real quick. 19. It says what? 2 Kings 19 and 30. It reads. It says, well, actually, this is when the Assyrians was going to try to besiege and invade Jerusalem, and you had this evil king of Assyria. Who was it? Sennacherib. He pretty much was telling Hezekiah to not have faith in the Most High, which is evil as hell. All right, he basically told him, you a fool if you think that your God gonna stop me from coming to invade, besiege, and overthrow y'all. All right, but the Lord, let's see how the Lord get down. It says what? 2 Kings 19. I'm gonna start at where I want to start at. I'll start at 28. It says, because thy rage against me and thy tumult is come up into my ears. Therefore, I will put my hook in thy nose and my bridle in thy lips, and I will turn thee back by the way which thou comest. And this shall be a sign unto thee. Ye shall eat this year such things and as grow of themselves. In the 2nd year, that which springeth of the same. And in the 3rd year, sow ye and reap and plant vineyards and eat the fruits thereof. And the remnant that is escaped of the house of Judah shall yet again take root downward and bear fruit upward. For out of Jerusalem shall go forth a remnant, and they that escape out of Mount Zion. The zeal of the Lord of hosts shall do this. Right? So the point is, the Lord always deal with a remnant. Even though this king is plotting on destroying and overthrowing and obliterating us, the Lord always going to have a remnant escape. All right? That's always. The Lord is always going to have a remnant that escape and, get up out of that jam, so-called. All right, and when you keep reading down on this, he ended up having the angel smoke the camp of the Assyrians, 185,000 men became dead corpses. All right, so that's just quick precept on that. And then the other one I wanted is it's with Obadiah. I believe that was I think it was First Kings. Might have been 19, I want to say. First Kings, I believe it was 19. Let me see. Let me find it real quick and type it in. Let me see.
What you want, 18?
It might be in 18.
No, if you want First Kings 19 to 18.
When he hit the prophets. If that's what that is, then yes, big con.
You got the other stuff in mind.
Yeah, First Kings 18. First Kings 18. Let me get the whole chapter. This is the book of First Kings, chapter 18, and I'm gonna start at 2. It says what? And Elijah went to shew himself unto Ahab, and there was a sore famine in Samaria. And Ahab called Obadiah, which was the governor of his house. Now Obadiah feared the Lord greatly. For it was so when Jezebel cut off the prophets of the Lord, that Obadiah took 100 prophets and hid them by 50 in a cave and fed them with bread and water. So here we see again that the Lord is preserving a remnant. It was the intent for this evil woman Jezebel. She wanted to kill all of them. All right. If it was her decision, it wouldn't be no damn prophets left. All right. But what did the Lord do? He put it in Obadiah's spirit to take 100 prophets and hide them by 50s in a cave. And he was feeding them with bread and water throughout this famine as well. So the Lord always deal with a remnant. All right. The Lord is always preserving good men. All right. In some capacity. Because the wicked gonna get judged. All right. If these was evil, wicked prophets and they was worshiping Baal, the Lord had them get jammed up. All right. But this Obadiah, what did it just say? He feared the Lord greatly. All right. Those who fear the Lord is gonna be preserved always. Because you're gonna have Esau moving in this same spirit of Jezebel. You got brothers out there shaking their hand mightily, prophesying the downfall of these kingdoms and these nations, man. Right? And you're gonna have these Edomites, these high elites, they're gonna want to kill us. They're gonna want to cut all of us off. All right, because we the prophets of the Lord. And they're gonna want to destroy us. They don't want us to keep talking about the end of their society. But guess what? Hey, the Lord, he gonna pull an Obadiah type move. All right. And he gonna preserve his prophets. And we're gonna be somewhere. It might be in somebody's bunker. The Lord preserve a bunker for us because it's gonna be a famine. People gonna be out here starving. All right, and the Lord gonna have brothers kind of link up. All of like 5 elect men. They part of the 144. They might not even know it. They don't even know. All right, all hell breaking loose. You got 5 elect brothers with each other. All right, or they might be 1/3. It might even be 1/4. They could be 1/3. They all with each other though, taking care of each other, and they all good. The Most High taking care of all of them. And they hid by 5s, scattered throughout Babylon as all hell break loose. Right? So the Lord always deal with preserving men, right? Just like he had the 7,000 that didn't bow the knee. All right. And yeah, that's all I wanted on that, King.
Con, if we're done on that, let me get Isaiah 11 and 11 on that same topic, and then I got one more.
Con, this book of Isaiah chapter 11 and verse number 11 reads, it says what? And it's going to pass in that day that the Lord shall set his hand again the second time.
The second time. When did the Lord do it the second time, King?
It says, and it shall come to pass that the Lord shall set his hand again the second time. Right? So this second time essentially is going to be when Yahweh shall return.
Now.
All right. You said what?
It's going to be now.
Well, yeah, in our time, yeah.
Because he never took the children of Israel out of Egypt twice.
Yep.
Then did that one time.
Yeah, it's gonna be on our time, right? When the Lord gonna recover his remnant. Essentially, when the chariots come and beam brothers and sisters up to escape the death and destruction, will be recovered. Because you're gonna have the elect get beamed up. Well, rebels too, but you chiefly the elect, they're gonna get beat up, they're gonna go over to the second wilderness. They're gonna be recovered, and the rebels gonna be purged out. And whoever left over here, hey, well, ain't no chariots kind of going back over to Babylon to do this ain't the damn rapture.
Bombs away.
All right. If you don't get beamed up, it ain't no chariots coming back on this side to kind of any people left over. No. All right. So when Yahweh shall return, and the chariots come swinging low. Hey, if you get beamed up, you going over to the sacred wilderness to endure, Lord willing. Lord, if that's our lot and we ain't already been martyrs of the Lord, hey, well, Lord willing, we enduring in the second wilderness and not being rebels. Because the chariot's not coming back over. Hold on, y'all. We got to go back real quick. No. All right.
We left for elect.
Right.
Matthew 18 already says that. The Lord, if you lose one sheep, he's not going to leave one sheep. So therefore, before the Lord even leaves, he's going to make sure he got.
Yep.
But he gonna do a hand count like we do when we was in Baltimore. Everybody put their hand up one.
We got to make sure everybody accounted for it.
Matthew 18, he literally said that before he leaves, he's gonna make sure he got everybody. So when he leaves, he's not coming back. Continue on that Isaiah 11:11.
Con, it says, and it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Assyria and from Egypt and from Pathros and from Cush and from Elam and from Shinar and from Hamath and from the islands of the sea.
So I'm gonna expound on that. Get Jeremiah 3:14, and the Lord is going to recover his people from all over the earth. That is not literally saying he's going to come get Pathros. He's going to go get Egyptians. He's going to go and get them Hamites. He's going to go and get white people. No, because when we in those land, what did Paul call himself when he got jammed up? Roman. What do we call ourselves when we in court?
So-called American. We citizens.
We so-called American, but is our bloodline literally that?
Not at all.
We don't belong here. Last time I checked, we was brought from our homeland and brought here. Read Genesis 40 and 15.
Yeah. And it's written that way because we scattered everywhere. Because even when you read the next verse in that same chapter back, and that it literally tell you from the four corners.
James 1:1.
So we
about the whole world.
You want me to read this in Jeremiah?
Jeremiah 3:14.
Jeremiah 3:14. It says, "Turn, O backsliding children, saith the Lord, for I am married unto you, and I will take you one of a city and two of a family, and I will bring you to Zion."
So he is writing, he is fulfilling that in Luke 17. When he said that he's going to come and get 1, 2, 3 people out of 6 people. They're going to be grinding together. One going to be laying on the head. One of them going to be in the field trying to find some food to eat. And he's going to have 2 people there. He's going to take one. He's fulfilling that prophecy that he talked about in the book of Jeremiah, the third chapter, 14th verse.
It was already written of old.
It was already written of old. Luke 24:44, like I said.
That's fire.
Acts 3:19. You got it, King.
I think I have one more. Matter of fact, I want to expound from that Isaiah 11. I want to go to Deuteronomy. We'll go to class in Deuteronomy 30. It says, what? This book of Deuteronomy chapter 30, and I'm gonna start at 3. Deuteronomy 30:3, it says that then the Lord thy God will turn thy captivity and have compassion upon thee, and will return and gather thee from all the nations whither the Lord thy God hath scattered thee. It says, if any of thine be driven out unto the outmost parts of heaven, from thence will the Lord thy God gather thee, and from thence will he fetch thee. So I just want to expound on that a little bit from Isaiah 11. The Lord, he named all these diverse places, but really is just essentially saying we're going to be gathered from All the nations that we scatter in.
That was Deuteronomy 30 and what?
30 and 3. So that's what the Lord named several different nations right there in that in Isaiah 11:11. But that's all it's saying is that out of many different nations will essentially be gathered out of, because like the brother said, even with Egypt, we got delivered out of Egypt. You know, that was back then in that time. But out after that, Jake has been scattered everywhere. Mm-hmm. Literally. That's why you got that in Acts 2 and 5 on down. You had these devout Jews from under every nation under heaven, man. Patros, and they named some of the same ones in Isaiah 11.
How the hell we get all the way in Asia Minor? How the hell we get all the way in Turkey?
Scattered all throughout Turkey and stuff, man. Like the brother said, Asia Minor and stuff.
Got the Philippian church, got Ephesians.
Yeah, the church at Philippi, church at Ephesus, church at Corinth.
How the hell we get all the way over there?
Lord, they scattered us everywhere.
They scattered us everywhere. They cast lots upon the Lord clothes and scatter his people.
Yeah. And then with the other one, Joel, you had the damn you had Ham and the damn Greeks, man. My gold and my silver. One more, Romans 8 and 29. It says, for whom he did foreknow, he also did predestinate to be conformed to the image of his son, that he might be the firstborn among many brethren. So it's always just touching on how that remnant is of old. It's already predestinated for elect to be conformed to the image of Yahushua. So they gonna do that no matter what. This is of old, predestinate.
Let me get Revelation 6 and 6, and we're about to get our closing precepts, and we're gonna wind down. Revelation 6 and 6.
It's book of Revelation, right? Chapter 6 and verse number 6. It says what? And I heard a voice in the midst of the four beasts say, a measure of wheat for a penny, 3 measures of barley for a penny, and see thou hurt not the oil and the wine.
So the oil and the wine is not going to be hurt. The men who understand the scriptures, the parabolicness, the symbolicness, the allegories, this oil is not literally talking about oil. This wine is not literally talking about wine. When you read Ecclesiastes 8 and 9 and 8, Ecclesiastes 9 and 8, this oil is talking about the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. The Lord said, don't hurt the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. That's why the whole time they were persecuting us, destroying us, even in slavery, what they never got rid of. They never got rid of this Bible. They never got rid of the words of life to bring them corpses and them dead people back from their sin. That's going to quicken us. So they didn't hurt the oil because the elect is always going to turn back into Yahushua. When you read 1 Thessalonians, the 2nd chapter, everybody had to fall away. All the men of the Lord died after Yahushua died. But the elect, once they hear the voice of the Lord, they hear the prophet speaking, they all going to gravitate and turn the wheel. They instantly going to get the bend in the corner. I'm done with sin. They're going to turn away, and they're going to turn right to Yahweh Bashim Yahushua no matter what. Even they're going to follow him onto the grave. Let me get my Revelations 14 and verse 4.
It's book Revelation, right? Chapter 14 and verse number 4. It reads, these are they which were not defiled with women.
That's not literally women. That's talking about doctrine. That's not literally women. That's talking about doctrine, understanding of this world. It's personified as a woman when you read Proverbs. That strange woman.
Yeah, Proverbs
doctrine. If you have understanding, he that have understanding, let him hear. Continue, King.
It says, these are they which were not defiled with women, for they are virgins.
And did not the Lord say, be fruitful and multiply? So how would the men of the Lord who was chosen him be literally virgins? Read Matthew the 25th chapter. That virgin is going to innocent, undefiled, not ruined. Because if you lay down with your man in righteousness, or you lay down with a woman in righteousness, you are not a virgin no more. But did you just throw away your chance to get to the Heavenly Father? No. Continue, King.
It says, what? These are they which follow the Lamb.
They follow the what?
Follow the Lamb.
They follow the Lamb everywhere that he go. Let me get that. Let me get that real quick so they can know exactly what the Lamb is. A lot of our people don't be knowing, and we here to edify.
We got John 1:29, the class.
That's what I was about to get. You got the book of John, chapter 1 and verse 29, and it reads, the next day John seeth Yahushua, who the world called Jesus, coming unto him, and said, behold, the Lamb of God, which taketh away the sin of the world. The Lamb of God. Yahushua is that Lamb. So when they follow the Lamb everywhere he go, I mean, they're going to follow the Spirit of Christ everywhere that he go. The elect is going to fall away, go through hell, have problems and tribulation, but they're still going to follow behind a shepherd. Because the elect is sheep. And Yahushua is the shepherd, man. And the Father is the owner of the field. We got it, King.
Quick precept. I'm gonna go to 1 Peter 1 real quick just to let me back off that. It says what? 1 Peter 1 and verse number 19. It says what? But with the precious blood of Christ, as of a lamb without blemish and without spot, who verily was foreordained before the foundation of the world, but was manifest in these last times for you. So the elect, Yahushua is gonna be manifested to the elect each and every time. Each and every time. All right. That's why that was a beautiful point that Nathaniel brought out in Revelation the 6th chapter about not hurting the oil and the wine, not completely stripping our wisdom, knowledge, and understanding away from us. That could never happen, because if that was to happen, the elect would not be able to draw back to Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, because you do that via the word of the Lord anyway. So the Lord never stripped us completely of our wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, and just having insight on who we are. The word was never completely taken away from us, because that's what the wine represent, the word of the Lord, wisdom, knowledge, and understanding.
You even got the slaves who was singing swing low sweet chariots.
Right. So why would they know anything about chariots swinging for anybody? Hey, because salvation is promised to us. All right. Our people knew about the chariots. They knew about the salvation that was going to come by God one day. Now, it might not have been on track all the way. Of course, they got watered down and, brainwashed for Christianity. But look, it's never really taken 100% away. Why? Because you have the elect here. And the Lord not going to stop to his elect to see you. And he had never let his elect go without wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Because they're gonna know Yahushua. They're going to know the Most High. All right? Yahushua going to be manifested to the elect. And no matter what generation we in. All right. And so I just wanted to let me back off that, what you had just brought out.
Tom, let me get 2 Peter 1 and 10. Because we about to wind down and get our closing precepts out.
This is the book of 2 Peter chapter 1 and verse number 10. It says, wherefore the rather, brethren, give diligence to make your calling and election sure. For if you do these things, ye shall never fall.
So the elect is going to be out here pushing the word of the Lord. They're going to make their calling and election sure by showing forth the magnification of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. They're going to be standing on the highways and byways. You read about that in Matthew the 22nd chapter.
Yep. Beat them.
You're going to read about that in Isaiah 30 and 20. You're going to see your teachers face to face. You're going to read about that in a plethora of other locations where the elect are going to make that calling and election sure. And let me get Sirach 49 and verse 2. This is my closing precept. And if you got anything. If not, I'm going to close out with another mighty precept for the world to know.
This is the book of Sirach to the 49 and verse number 2. It says, what? He behaved himself uprightly in the conversation and the conversion of the people, and took away the abominations of iniquity.
And that's what the godly men going to do. They're going to be out here taking away the abominations of the wicked. They're going to be rebuking, exhorting, uplifting, gathering the sheep. They're not going to be out here following the ways of this world. We gonna flip the world upside down. You got it, King.
Yeah, quick preset and let me back off that real quick. Let me get the classic. I believe that's 2 Corinthians 10:4. It says, "For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through Yahweh Bashim Yahushua to the pulling down the strongholds." So the elect gonna be out here using a weapon. Hebrews 4:12. They're gonna be using the sword of the Lord to cut up all manner of foolishness and folly, to pull down these strongholds.
Gonna be that carpenter, man.
Gonna be that carpenter. What was that? The carpenter and the horseman? What's that? Zechariah?
I want to say the third.
And what do carpenters do? Carpenters, they tear down and they build. All right. If Jake know anything about demolition and remodeling, and is one more thing, remodeling and refurbishing, all of that. Sometimes you gotta tear down the bad parts and then you build it up with new parts. That's like if the floor, the wood starting to rot on the roof. All right, you gotta get that out of there, and then you repair the roof. That's what carpenters do. All right, so the elect, they're gonna be out here, they're gonna be using their weapons, right? They're gonna be using the word of the Lord. That's the weapon. Okay, these daggers, these cuts, these axes to chop doctrines clean up. Okay, and they're gonna pull down these strongholds that's upon the people. That's what the elect gonna do. The elect is gonna be for the building of the nation. Okay. Let me get one more. And just let me back off that real quick. I'm going to Nehemiah. I believe let me see. This whole thing fire. I'm gonna just go to 18, get to the point, since you want it down. This Nehemiah 2:18. Then I told them of the hand of my God, which was good upon me, as also the king's words that he had spoken unto me. And they said, let us rise up and build. So they strengthened their hands for this good work. So the elect, they're gonna rise up and build. They're ready to put this brick in and build the third temple of the Lord. The elect is gonna seal the elect. All right. The elect gonna be out here putting work in, doing videos, doing breakdowns, teaching on the highways and hedges, answering questions, doing everything to get the elect built up and rooted in Yahweh Shah so they can grow into that full stature. Like I talk about in Ephesians, the 4th chapter. All right, the elect gonna be out here rising up and building. And look, let's put this brick in. Let's labor. Let's hit the highways and hedges. Let's get the camp. All right, and they say what they strengthen their hands for this good work. All right, so the elect, they're gonna be out here trying to get built up. They trying to strengthen their hands for this good work, putting this brick in to magnify the name of the Lord, to build each other up. All right, because the elect gonna always be around the elect. The elect gonna take this thing serious, and they're gonna want to do this good work. They're gonna want to build the temple. That's what the elect gonna do. So the elect gonna be diligent. They're gonna be occupied. Real quick, one more classic. First Chronicles. I mean, not First Chronicles. 1 Corinthians 15:58. The classic. It says what? It says, therefore, my beloved brethren, be ye steadfast, unmovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord. For as much as you know that your labor is not in vain in the Lord. So that's another thing about the elect. They're gonna be steadfast and unmovable. They're not gonna bend, break, or fold. Things get hard for the elect. You got a lot of men in the scriptures that's examples of the elect, and they went through hell. Job is the elect. Look what all that he went through. He had to remain steadfast and unmovable. All right, look what Paul went through. He had to remain steadfast and unmovable. And he dang sure always abounding in the work of the Lord, no matter what. This is the elect talking to us. Paul telling us, look, our labor is not in vain. So the elect gonna be out here steadfast, unmovable. They're gonna catch hell. They're gonna go through some troubling times, things that'll break the typical person. But they're gonna stay rooted and they're gonna abound in the work of the Lord. The elect gonna always be doing the work. They got a mind to work. All right. You got it, King.
Let me get this last precept, and then I'm gonna read mine. Then we're gonna close out. Get Exodus 35 and verse 21. Exodus 35 and 21, because they were building up the temple at this time. This is the carnal temple. At Moses' time, the tabernacle of witness. And we're gonna see what spirit they were moving in, like how we building up the temple right now. The elect is a building. We're gonna be building up the house of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shah for him to come to live in. A new world as he know. Okay, we got it.
This book of Exodus chapter 35 and verse 21. And they came every one whose heart stirred him up. and everyone whom his spirit made willing. And they brought the Lord's offering to the work of the tabernacle, the congregation, and for all his service and for the holy garments.
And that's the spirit that the elect is going to be moving in. They came and brought free will offerings to build up the temple. And this is my closing precept. Hebrews 6:10. I want to read it. It says, "For God is not unrighteous to forget your work and labor of love, which ye have shewed toward his name, and that ye have ministered to the saints and do minister." And with that, I want to give all honor and glory to the Most High God, Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shah. Lord willing, somebody is edified. Lord willing, somebody get a precept they didn't know. Lord willing, somebody get some understanding. Lord willing, we magnify the name of the Lord and we do the work. You got it, King.
Khan, I would like to give all praises, double honor, and glorification to the Most High Yahweh by Shema Mashiach Wamadak Yahweh Shah. Let me drop this closing precept real quick. Salaki. Dang. I was looking for it right before it finished. But through the spirit, actually, I think I know where it's at. Wait a second. Right here, I forgot to mention this too, so I'll just end it with this. But it says what this 2 John chapter 1 and verse 1. It says what the elder unto the elect lady and her children, whom I love in the truth, and not I only, but also all they that have known the truth. I forgot to harp on that. You got the elect women out here too. Sisters got to be on fire in this thing too. You got the elect lady. Now that don't mean you're gonna be 144, not at all. But nevertheless, you got men, women, and children that consist of the 1/3. Sisters got to be out here putting their break in too. Now of course the men we the forefront, no doubt about it. But sisters got to be in this thing making a call and election sure as well. All right, sisters got to be exhorted. Sisters got to be on fire, reading, cooking, praying, fasting, studying, sewing, putting your hand to the plow in any form or fashion, building up the next sister. All right. The elder women teaching the younger women how to be. All right. So you got the elect women in this thing as well. They got to be on fire, waxing mighty in these last days. But that's it.
And you read about that in Exodus 35 and 25.
Yeah. You have women that spin with the wheel, wise women.
And with that, I want to give all honor and glory to the Most High God, Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shabbat Kwame Ashala.
Kwame Ashala.